Okay. Thunder Force 3 on the Sega Genesis Mini. You know, there have been a lot of Sega Genesis compilations over the last decade or so. The PS2 got its own version. Obviously, the Sega Genesis Collection came out on the PS4 and the Xbox One. There was a massive underrepresentation of shooters on those consoles. I mean, heck, even the Genesis Flashback got its own shooter. It got Arrow Flash, I believe. Like, there's one other game I think that was on there. But if you look for shooters on this console, what you wind up getting usually are Space Harrier 2, which is god-awful. You wind up getting Galaxy Force 2, which is god-awful. There's one other game, maybe Tiger Heli is going to be on there. That's god-awful. So those are like third-person sprite super scaler games. They're just terrible ports for the Genesis. They're terrible games that got ported terribly. Apparently, Afterburner never shows up on this console. I never understood why that's a thing. Just regular 2D side-scrolling shooters, which is the one thing this console did better than any other console at the time, even better than Super NES. The top-down shooters too, you know, like what was it? Musha, was it Musaya Aleste, whatever it's called? It was a top-down shooter. It was awesome. I remember it being decent anyway. There are a bunch of games on the Genesis that you think Gyres, which might be one of the best shooters I've played. You're never going to see that on I've never seen Gyres on a console like this. I never understood why. And this console includes Thunder Force 3, but apparently does not include Thunder Force 4, or Lightning Force, I believe that's what it's called. This does include Darius, which apparently is not very good, but hey, it's rare. So you get to play that if you want. But finally, I get to play like a legit... Like, this was a system seller for some people back when the Genesis was out, back in 1990. It's like, yes, this game is the game you need to play. If you have a Genesis, you cannot do this on the Super NES at all. Don't even think about it. Guardian Legend, you know what, fine. But it's not this. I mean, if you look at all the good shooters that came out prior to 1990, it was basically Guardian Legend, and I guess, like, I guess Zanac counts. Zanac would count. But this is legit. It's hard, though, as you'll see as soon as we start the game. I've always wanted to play this game. I played a bit of it, you know, about a decade ago, but I never really sat down and gave it, like, a really good playthrough. I played it for about half an hour before recording this. This game is hard, because it's practically, it's like no continues. And you're allowed to choose the first stage you want to visit. And this is the stage I completed already, the Lindsay Ellis planet. So if you complete this stage, and then the very next stage you go to winds up being this one, which is hard. So we'll try them all out, just to see how they are. We're going to die during all these, so don't worry. And we'll choose the Hydra stage last, because like I said, I already have a game save where I completed Ellis. So we'll come back to that. Let's choose Hades. Hades. This game's supposed to have some really ridiculously good synth rock. It seems okay. I mean, obviously the standard would be, you know, Thunder Force 5, and I died on. See, we're off to a roaring start, kids. Okay, press the C button to change between the two weapons you see at the top of the screen there. You can shoot behind you, or press the C button again to shoot in front of you. You can also press the A button to vary your speed, which is on the top right-hand corner of the screen right there. That's 2 triangles. This is 3 triangles, which is what I use. And 4 is the default speed, but that's too fast for me. So we'll just set it to 3. So thankfully, unlike Gradius, you can change the speed of your character at will. You don't have to pick up power-ups to change your speed, which is mind-blowing back in the day for those of us who remember Gradius. And the idea that speed would be a power-up that you would lose if you died seems absurd to me. And this is a game with no waypoint, so you pick up where you die, so keep that in mind. Of course, you lose most of your weapons. And see, we died already. We'll choose this game again. We'll choose this level again, because I spent too much time trying to explain how the controls work. So again, the A button changes your speed. No, we're not gonna use one of our 7 continues. And you start at the beginning of the level anyway, so why would you want to use a continue? So again, the A button's for your speed, the B, you hold down the B button for your auto fire, and the C button is to switch weapons. So I'll point out, I'll go a bit more slowly and I'll point a few things out. Because again, if you've never played this game before, I at least want to make this clear. Okay, basics. Top of the screen, you see the score. To the right of that, you see the 2 weapons you have. The weapon we've chosen is highlighted in red. That's our double fire weapon. The second weapon, press C to switch weapons. The second weapon here fires behind you. Next to that, on the right-hand side, see the number of ships. We have 4 ships. Underneath that, there are triangles pointing to the right. That's our speed. We're 3 out of 4. You press the A button to switch speed, to cycle speed. So you go from 3 to 4, back down to 1, 2, 3. I choose level 3 for my speed because it's fast enough for me to get around, but not so fast that I can't control myself and make precise movements, which is why I never choose the highest speed. I might have to do that in some stages, but not here. That's pretty much all we need to worry about for now. So we're going to hold down the B button and hope we don't die. See? There we go. See, we have 3 weapons. Whoa! See, I died already. So I lost that really cool weapon I just got, which is I forget what you call it, but it crawls along the walls, which is handy in this area because there are enemies like hugging the wall, and hugging the floor and the ceiling. And you see right here, I'm shooting behind me with my backfire weapon, which is handy in some areas. The game does make you kind of, the game does make you stay out of the game does make you leave the left-hand side of the screen sometimes, and I dig that. You can't just hug the right side of this, you can't just hug the left side of the screen like in Life Force. The game makes you earn it sometimes, and I appreciate that. Got a special power up here. C button, so I can fire behind me, or press C button again to fire in front of me. Crap! Okay. This is not cool. Can't get that fire weapon here. Ugh. This is like that Theta 7 continent on Sky Commanders. Constantly shifting. Lazar. Uh-oh, I'm dead. Yeah, I got myself stuck in a corner. And now I can't pick up another weapon. H. Ooh! This is nice! Okay, you better move. Okay, I can't be stuck. Uh-oh. Now I gotta shoot behind me. Okay. Guess I gotta go back the way I came, huh? Was that supposed to happen? I'm not dead. Whoa! Now I'm dead. Okay, this game is annoying. So we're gonna choose another level now. These insta kills are the worst. So you saw how many times I died because something I couldn't foresee just crushed me. So that's gonna suck. So we'll switch to another level. We'll sample them all. Don't worry. I can confirm that level 2 is the easiest. The Ellis level is the easiest level I've seen so far because I've died in less than 30 seconds on every other level I've played. At least when I was sampling the game, I wasn't playing seriously. This game was pretty mind-blowing back when it came out as far as the graphics. Like, all the levels of parallaxing were very good. Lots of detail in these backgrounds. I kind of dig it. It was my aesthetic. It was my aesthetic back in back in 1990, I'd say. I'd say this and maybe some Konami games for my aesthetic back in the day. Like some Contra would have been nice. What else did I like? I'm trying to remember what other games I thought had really good graphics back then. Well, obviously, like Castlevania 2, stuff like that. Whoops. God! I'm floating upward. Oh, the bubbles are shooting me upward. Yeah, I see the bubbles are shooting me upward. So I gotta fight that upward pressure. Okay, I got a wave here I forgot to choose. See? Oh, it's a homing missile. Okay, so I'm using the homing missile now. Okay. I had to press the C button to choose the homing missile there. Now this I dig. Let me get one of those. Got it. Okay. That was tough because it was pushing me upward. Those bubbles are pushing me upward, see? So you gotta push back a little bit. It takes a bit of finesse, I admit. But you don't die if you hit the surface. Only if you hit the walls. You won't see this in Echo the Dolphin. And no, I'm not gonna play Echo the Dolphin. I gave up on that game so quickly. Like, I played that. I did a video on Echo the Dolphin already when I played the Sonic Ultimate Genesis Collection. It was terrible. You won't see this in Darius. This is basically Darius meets Echo the Dolphin. Okay, I want that S. There we go. I got that shield. Die already, dude. There we go. It's finally down. I guess this homing missile isn't that strong. See? 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 This seems okay. I probably don't even need the homing missile anymore. Because I got this. Didn't I see this in Sinistron? On the Turbo Graphics? That was the name of the game, right? Sinistron? God, there were so many of these games back in the early 90s. They were just... Like before fighting games were a thing, there were like hundreds of these things. On every console. Every console. You like Turbo Graphics, the Genesis, obviously the Super NES, everyone had a shooter. Because why not? I mean, before fighting games, this was like the game to play if you wanted a challenge and didn't want to play like a platformer or something. Wow, I won. Dude, I won. I wasn't expecting that. Wow. I'm shocked. Consider the G-Lobster. But let's choose another. Whoops, I can't choose what level I want now. Okay. So the game automatically sends me back to a different level? That's weird. Whoops, crap! Ah, I forgot about that part. So I lost that weapon. Well, at least I lost my options. I lost my ghost ships. Okay. So I have 4 weapons left. If I lose the weapon that I'm carrying when I die. That sucks. I like those options. I might get it. I don't know who's gonna drop another one, but whoops, crap! Now I'm dead again. No, I'm not dead. Well, I almost survived that. So I lost my homing beam. That sucks. Yeah, this wave laser's pretty good. Whoops! Because I couldn't shoot them with the... Could I not shoot them with the wave laser? That sucks. Yeah. But I do like the fact you can shoot behind you with these ghost ships. That's kind of cool. You get to swerve around these things. Whoops. I'm not going to get the shield. Too dangerous. What? Crap! Told you this game was hard. So how does this work? I probably should have saved my game when I completed that level, by the way. I'll tell you what. So I don't have a choice here. I can't choose what level I want. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to create a save. So I have a save where I defeat the Ellis level, and I have a save where I defeat the... whatever that level is called. So basically, whenever I defeat the level, so it's clockwise. When you defeat one of these levels, you get sent back to the level before it. That's weird. So what happens if you defeat the first level? Well, I'll check. I'll see it. I forget what that level's called. The Fire Planet. We'll check it out later when I have to restart my game. So basically, I don't have a choice. I have to do this level, and I don't like this level. So we'll restart the game from scratch if we have to, because we're not going to stay here. I want you to see all the levels. At least during this video, anyway. This is a sampler. Whoops! I keep forgetting that part. I hate this level. Instant deaths. The death penalty is pretty harsh in this game, because there's so few lives. I mean, at least your basic weapons are okay. I mean, at least the game lets you choose your speed, and it gives you 2 weapons to choose from at the beginning. So that I'm fine with. Like I said, it's just the level design. It's just see that crap. Again, I like the stage select option. It's just that, whoop, died again. Again, I like the stage select option. So here's the fire weapon that crawls along the walls and floor. So that's cool. Whoops, died again. So you could be doing so well, then you'll lose like 3 lives in 3 seconds in this game. Especially on this level, it's just the worst. Laser. Whoop, I'm gonna die. See? I got stuck behind the wall because I didn't know that was gonna happen. I keep forgetting. Just screw this. Let's start from the beginning. Reset. So we'll check out the Gorgon level. I think it's the fire level, which I thought was one of the most visually impressive levels in this game. Now it's about parallax scrolling. So here's the secret. This level I think is the easiest, but we also beat this level already. So if you beat a level, you get set back to the level that's clockwise from it. So I beat this Ellis level already, and it sent me back here when I defeated that level. I defeated the Siren level, and it sent me back here. So that seems to be the secret. So how do I want to do this? Let's go to Gorgon. We'll probably end up dying here, too. Twin Vulcan. Weak point, search radar. We'll just keep holding down the fire button until it dies. That's all you need to worry about. This level's pretty tough too, as I recall. See, I died already. See, I dig that raster effect. That's a raster effect, right? That wacky waving effect in the background. I dig that. Oh, I always used to watch footage of this game on like GamePro and was it GamePro and what was it? Video Power, and they would always show scenes like this. I'm like, oh my god, this game looks so amazing. I gotta play it. Of course, I was younger then. Stuff like this impressed me, but yeah, back in the day, you know, 16-bit games, people like me, all had an NES back in those days. So I always wanted to see footage of the 16-bit games because I knew how good they looked. This is before YouTube, so if you wanted to see a game in action and you didn't own it, you had to watch, you know, Video Power or something. Like, I got 2 different weapons now. It's weird. What happened to my backfire weapon? There it is. Okay, that explains it. I guess one of them leveled up. Yeah, this one leveled up. Okay, so this is the one that leveled up. This is my double fire weapon. Okay, I'm good. Let's get my wave gun out. Not as many environmental obstacles in this level. I appreciate that. And when's that TurboGrafx Mini gonna come out? Because those games are stupid expensive. I'm never gonna get a collection going on that console. Because every game, even the crappy ones, is like 35 bucks. And I've seen those I've seen like a PC engine for like 50 bucks. I'm like, yeah, but the games are stupid expensive. I'm never gonna buy those things. Okay, I can shoot behind me now. Not that I need to. 1-up. Needed that. That's no joke. How'd I survive that? I'll take that homing missile. Got it. What? That is some garbage, by the way. How can the same crap happen to the same guy twice? Let's get. I lost my homing missile, of course. God, this game is the worst. As soon as you get a cool weapon, it takes it away from you, like right away. It's like it's not even funny. I can't even hear the music. Ah! Died again. At least I made it to the boss. So this level's not so hard. So I use my wall crawling laser here. This is gonna be tough. Crap. Okay. So I made it to 3 bosses. I feel better about myself. These levels are really short, but this seems to be a run-based game. Because you're never going to make any progress unless you can beat all the levels. At least you have enough continues, though. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to show you the Ellis level that I beat earlier. And then when I die there, I'll just load my game save and I'll show you the other level I beat. So I like the stage select feature. I just wish that the game lets you choose the order for every time you complete a level. Because here it just seems to be forcing me to the next level automatically. It never lets me choose what level to play after I defeat a level. I always thought that was weird. Oh, demonstration mode. It's just weird that the game lets you choose the first level, but you can't choose the second level after it. Such a weird restriction. Because it's not like Mega Man where you can take a power up from a boss and bring it to another level. Although the game implies that if you get power ups from an earlier level, you can take them with you to the level that precedes it. So I guess that's okay. So I'm very curious what happens if you defeat this Hydra level. Like, do you get sent to Gorgon? Anyway, let's go to Ellis. Because I beat this level already, so I might end up beating the boss here. It wasn't recording when I beat the boss. I just wanted to see if I could do it. So I was sampling out all the levels. See, this level, like I said, I like the amount of detail in this level, but it's a bit too monochromatic, if that makes sense. Like, it's too blue. So it's kind of hard to see some of the enemies here, so I don't like that. Here we go, yeah! So this back laser is powered up. But it looks like I'm flying over a 16-bit RPG overworld, right? Like, this looks like an overworld for like a Squaresoft RPG, right? It looks like a top-down view, which is weird. Because obviously it's the side-scrolling game, but it looks like the background is a top-down map screen in some RPG somewhere. When you shoot these icicles and they retract, so you have to shoot the icicles to get them out of your way. Of course, these icicles don't retract when you shoot them. What? Crap, careful. Yeah, I don't want to lose my back lasers. Let me keep this one. Crap. Okay, I made it. Wow. That was close. Multi-directional scrolling was a big deal back in the early 90s. It wasn't just scrolling left to right, it was scrolling in all 8 directions. Like Vanguard or something, back in the day. Remember that game, that arcade game. It was an SNK arcade game, actually, which I haven't played yet. I mean, I played a tiny bit of it, but... Wow. Okay, here we go. I think I made it. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. Okay, I made it. Ha! Suck it. Your boy still got it. I'm telling you, this looks like a Final Fantasy IV looking overworld. I do dig the detail they got going on here. Not a lot of colors, but they picked the right ones, so it works. Lots of darks. I love the contrast between the dark and the medium dark colors. Genesis was always pretty good at that. Getting a lot of dark. Yeah, Genesis graphics are so dank, man. They did a lot of Genesis games did a really good job with like lots of darks and browns and blacks. They were really good with that. I always dug that. I mean, obviously they had a limited color palette, but a lot of the developers were getting pretty good at choosing the right colors with a 64 color limitation, which is what these games had. Like, that was the color depth limitation they had. Because I want to say the PC engine allowed more colors on screen at once, but it had a smaller color palette, I think. Like, I think it had a palette of 512 colors, but it could show all of them on screen at once. But the Genesis had a palette of 4,096 colors, I think. But it could show... what was it? Only 64 of them on at once. But I guess the advantage of that reduced color depth was that the graphics were that was really fast. It could push those pixels really fast because you have to push that many colors. So basically, it had less work to do, I guess. I wonder if there's a modern game that does that. It just says, yeah, we're gonna increase the speed of the game by decreasing the color palette, and I just lost. Okay, so I have to start the level all over again. So watch what happens when I continue. Because again, I almost beat this guy. He was pretty close to dying. Yep, this is going to drop me off the Lindsay Ellis stage. So let's see what happens. Starts me at the beginning. So screw this. This is why people hate old games. They're not hard because, you know, they're not hard like splatformers. They're hard because the death penalty is so massive that you have to start, that forces a lot of repetition, extended periods of repetition, just to make any progress. And I completely understand the frustration. So the save spots help, because it makes games like this more playable than they would be otherwise. You don't want to cheat, like maybe you want to give yourself a waypoint in front of a boss or something. See, that's the boss I just beat. So the boss I just died a few seconds ago, he's gone now. But I'm glad I got to record this game at 60 frames per second, because I was using interlaced footage earlier when I was recording my Genesis games. So playing a game like this at 60 FPS is probably the way it should be seen. This music does sound familiar, doesn't it? This music sounds like the music from Thunder Force 5, actually. Here's the wall crawler. I might not need this yet, so we'll just use this one instead. Yes, we use the wall crawler if there is a floor or ceiling to choose from. Here we go. Yeah, the back laser's been powered up. Whoops! That kills me every time, I swear to God. I never see that thing coming. It drives me nuts. And you saw me switch to the back laser there, so that's always cool. So again, it shoots vertically, then it crawls along the walls like a Gradius missile. I always dug that. Yeah, I always thought this was a cool enemy design. This little weird two-headed monster that shoots from its tail. I always thought that was cool. See, some of the design on the robot enemies here I always thought was kind of interesting. And again, I really like this sort of tangled vines they got going on here in the foreground. They obscure your vision, which is kind of annoying, but I like the design. They look kind of geometric, you know what I mean? Like, these are just vines, but they don't look organic. They look techno-organic, like something out of something out of Jason the Wheeled Warriors, if you remember that TV show. Jason the Wheeled Warriors. It's like looks like the monster mines took over this level right here. Saw Boss. This is the Saw Boss level. So we're gonna waste to continue, but I'm better off just restarting the level, because again, I wish I could choose and select my levels. It's lame. But this save state mode basically gives me a password. Well, there's also an evil, a giant owl android thing. An owl-headed android thing shows up a bit later. Whoops, I died already. That's why I hate this game. I don't want to say they're cheap hits, but the first time you play through a level, you die because of stuff you can barely see, especially in this level, where stuff's obscured by the foliage. And again, you know, I like the detail here, but it's kind of distracting, because see, like, these trees in the foreground, see, that killed me again. Those trees in the foreground kind of look like the same color as the trees in the background. So it's kind of distracting. I mean, again, I like the detail here, but they needed to do a better job of, like, making the background a bit less detailed, so you could see what's going on a bit better. So that's mildly disappointing. So as good as the detail is, I wish I kind of dialed back on the background detail, or at least made it somewhat more distinct from the foreground, so it's easier to follow the action. Which isn't the kind of thing that most people would complain about back in the day, because they were so wowed by the parallax scrolling and such. Because that's really what this game was about. Like, you got foreground scrolling, and you got a background scrolling, too, so that's kind of interesting. But again, I would not do this if you asked me to make a shooter today. Whoops, see, oh, it's got an area of effect. That's what's going on. Yeah, it's like a shrapnel effect. So every time they blow up, it leaves behind some explosions in its wake. Here it is. See, there are 2 more down there you can barely see. Those kill me every time. Do not get me started. God. Those are the worst. Stupid pea shooter ground missiles. Anyone else coming? The game forgot to add some enemies here? Oh, here they are. So the game forgot to add some enemies here. It's weird. There are parts of the game that are kind of weird where you don't shoot for several seconds, and it's kind of... I guess it's some breathing room, I guess. But it feels strange in a game like this to have that much breathing room. Okay, here's the owl boss, probably going to die too. Yeah. Archimedes from Sword in the Stone is sick of your crap. And yeah, this game did come out in the Super NES. I think it was called Thunder Spirits. But I think they shrunk the resolution, and I think they had a lot more slowdown. So it's kind of disappointing in that sense. The Thunder Spirits was the kind of game that was used as proof that the Super NES couldn't handle shooters, because they literally just ported a Genesis game. They had to make so many compromises that they failed. I mean, apparently the problem was literally all the slowdown. So it was a worse version of the game. I mean, they might have... I don't know if they added some features to it. I'll ask. But that Thunder Spirits is a game I've always been curious about, because I remember as a kid seeing it in Nintendo Power and saying, wait a minute, that's Thunder Force. Are you telling me they remade a Genesis game on a Super NES? Yeah, they just changed the name. And it's disappointing because I don't think, whoops, see, killed me again. I don't think Technosoft ever made a Super NES game, at least not one that was released here in America. But I mean, remember the guys who made Musha Aleste? That Genesis game, the people who made that game also made Space Megaforce, which is one of the best shooters I've ever played on the Super NES. And that had almost no slowdown at all. And if I can find a way to show you that game, I will. I think it's kind of expensive, so let's see what I can do. But Space Megaforce is a game where if you can play it, you gotta play it. You have to play it. Even if you don't like shooters, you gotta play that game. If you've ever liked any video game where you piloted a ship and shot stuff, you gotta play Space Megaforce. It is amazing. It's just kind of expensive now, I bet. But it's the game that I've always told people, because Nintendo Power was raving about it when it came out, and they had every reason to. It's like, this is the Super NES shooter. Like, this is the game that proves that the Super NES can do shooters. Because for so many years, they were just sort of mired by just, you know, terrible slowdown in every game. And here was a game by Compile, you know, the guys who did Guardian Legend and what was it? Gunnak and Zanak. Gunnak was amazing, by the way, on the NES. But here's a game that's like, here, this is a game that is just as fast as any Genesis top-down shooter, and it's got this sick weapon system where you have like 7 different kinds of weapons, and you had the shot control system that was amazing, and you had what was it? There's no smart bombs in this game, by the way. And you had this really amazing, what do you call it? And you had the mode 7 going on too. It was great. Look out for the fire. The fire kills me every time. Flame tongue. What am I shooting at? Whoops! Okay, I'm not dead. Yeah, what am I shooting at here? Whoop! Flame tongue. This is the boss I definitely remember from Thunder Spirits. I'm shooting the wrong thing, apparently. You have to shoot the core. So I have to shoot that thing on its belt, I guess. Made it. So I have to shoot that thing on its belt, but that flame tongue's keeping me away from it. Got him! Wow! Finally. Wise guy. So where am I sent now? So it sends me back to Gorgon now. Okay, so we can save the game here. So I used up too many continues. So I got a chance to show you all the levels. I'm glad you got a chance to see that. But this game's probably too tough for me. I'll give it a chance later, but this game is really tough. And not in the fun way. Like, it's tough in like the annoying way, or yeah, you die quickly and you run out of continues before you have a chance to learn the levels. So the only way to learn this game is to use the stage select, so you can practice dying over and over again. See, look at that. So I made it past 2 levels. I'm just straight out. So we'll waste a few continues practicing these levels. Yeah, I made it to this boss already, so the path forward, I guess, is to start with the Ellis level, then go to Hydra, then go here, because I made it past all 3 bosses, or I made it to all 3 bosses. That Hades level is going to be the last level I face, because that Hades level is going to kill me. I'm going to have to practice that level several times to get past it. That's going to be the death of me. Careful. So I always like those really big enemies, these shooters. Like, tiny little ships are okay, but I always prefer like big old enemies, like in Gyres. But what was this? I think it was Clayton Walnum, who was he was a freelance game reviewer for Video Games Computer Entertainment Magazine back in the day, and he was like, I think he reviewed Thunder Spirits, I want to say, on the Super NES, and he said, you know what, this game has a lot of slowdowns, it's got a lot of this, it's got a lot of problems. But the main problem with this game was that, as good as the game looks, it's too simplistic, because really, it's like he said, it was too typical of too many shooters, where you just kind of hold the fire button down until the enemies eventually overpower you, until eventually the enemies overwhelm you, and then the game's over. So his criticism of games like this was always, they're just way too simplistic. It's like, because it's like all you're doing here is just holding down the fire button and hoping you can learn the patterns. Because to him, it always felt like the game was about overwhelming numbers. Now, obviously, you're supposed to learn the level layout so that they're easier to deal with, but in a game like this, where the continues are so limited, it just didn't value your time. So if you wanted to play a game like this, you would keep playing, but the death penalty was just so massive on this game that... And again, you couldn't really choose what power-ups you got, because they just kind of appeared at random like that. So I wonder how you would feel about a game like Space Megaforce, where you could like choose, where to some extent you could choose the weapons you got, because you could shoot those orbs sometimes to pick the specific weapon to pick up that you wanted, so you could level it up more quickly. And I always preferred that. Like, Gradius is okay, but Gradius had other problems, because that power-up roulette wheel in that game was always really super annoying. Because one, you needed to always get speed first, otherwise you would die, and every time you died, you lose all of your weapons, so you'd be sent back to a waypoint where you would have no ability to survive whatsoever. So basically, if you died in Gradius, you might as well lose all your lives anyway, because you would never be able to get all your lives back. You would never be able to survive the level, because you would never get enough power-ups to get back to where you could survive again. The only way you could really survive in that game was to just, you know... the only way you could survive in Gradius was to just get a fully powered up ship and just not die and not go for that 1-up. I got the 1-up, so I did alright. So the only way to survive in Gradius was to just kind of get as many power-ups as you could and just stay alive, because if you died, you were done. and I died there. So stuff like that where you die because you stayed on the left side of the screen too long, but hey. Eventually you'll learn, right? But again, with unlimited continues, this game might be okay. It's just that there's no waypoint system. So I guess if you combined a waypoint system with some unlimited continues, I'd be okay with that. But not this. I'm gonna die now because I don't have any lives left. Careful! Wow, how did I survive that? Well, we survived that. Yeah, but will we survive this? Yeah, I think I'm done with Thunder Force 3. We'll come back and check it out later if I end up beating any of these levels. But I at least wanted you to see what kind of enemies I was facing. I'm getting set back to the beginning. This is driving me nuts.